The quality of the value we derive from our friendship depends on the quality of discussion we have with our friends. So my question to you and I is, when we hang out with our friends and our colleagues, do we discuss about people or ideas that will change our life? When we hang out with our friends, do we habitually discuss about problems, or we do discuss about solution as to how to solve the problems around us? When we hang out with our friends, do we discuss about love affairs as to who is cheating on who, or who is having an affair with who? Or we do discuss about business affairs as to how to put up our resources together and build synergy or partnership to increase our value in the society? Because whether we know it or not, the people that we are hanging out with and the discussion that we are having with them is going to affect our life, either positively or negatively. There's nobody in your life and in my life right now that is just there neutrally without affecting us in any way. Whether you are not talking to that person as often as possible, that person is still affecting your life in one way or the other. So nobody is neutral in your life. And that is why we must be intentional about the people we introduce to our life. Because the discussion or the information you expose yourself to is going to be the foundation for the kind of life you end up living. Like few weeks ago, the Honest Bunch podcast interviewed Solista. So if you are a music lover as of 2010, 2011, 2012, Solista is one of the major artists of the moment as at 2010 to 2011, 2012. He came up with a hit single titled One in a Million. One in a Million Girls. That was one of the songs that was well received in society as at then. Until today, when you listen to that song, you will enjoy the song and you will like it, because the song carries a lot of weight, a lot of emotion, and everybody loved Solid Star and the song as at that time until now, to the point that he featured Two-Face on the remix of that song during 2010. So Solid Star was reigning from 2010 to 2015. We're still hearing about Solid Star. But as at that time, he was still living at Festac when he started. So later on in his career, he decided to move to the island, and that was when he got himself introduced to friends that are dealing in drugs. And one particular drug they introduced him to, according to him, is ice. I don't know what is ice, but according to him, he said that the drug was ice, because of the fact that he was addicted to that drug that was introduced to him by his friends. He has a mental disorder. He was unconscious of himself for years because of the fact that he was hanging out with wrong friends when he came down to the island. Meanwhile, he was not doing that before he blew up. He was not doing drugs, he was not smoking before he blew up. But for the fact that the fame made him to be acquainted with new friends and all of that, new friends introduced him to drugs to the point that he could no longer be himself and to progress in his music career, until the point that he got mad. It is just this year that he just recovered. Now he has started pulling out new songs, but I don't think that level of success that he had as a 210, 211, 212, there's no way he's going to hustle hard now to like regain his stand. I'm not God, but due to how the industry is choked up now, it will be very hard for him to regain his fame, to regain his asset, because he sold almost all his asset because of the illness. Like I said, I'm not God. He might regain those things, but it will be very hard for him to regain the level at which he was before his mental illness. And that all started because of the wrong friends that he introduced to his life. So in this video, what I want to share with us is how we can grow with our friends instead of sabotaging each other, instead of pulling each other down, instead of introducing ourselves to wrong stuff that we end up sabotaging our success, sabotaging our life, pulling us back. When you look at the life of the really successful men, they are so careful as to who they introduce to their life. They are very careful in choosing who is their friend, who they can call friend. They are very careful in choosing those people because they know that we humans, we are like chameleons. We do absorb the energy, the mood, the worldview, and the lifestyle of the people we habitually associate with. Once you start moving with some people, it's just a matter of time for you to behave like them. That is why if you have, like, for example, if you have neighbors that they always frown their face, they always kind of like being on an angry mood every time. Even if you are smiling, even if you are a happy type, even if you are someone that is happy always, once you see that neighbor, even if you are happy, you are smiling before, because of his bad mood, you want to absorb that mood. You might not be aware of it, but with time it's going to show up in your mood too, because you are absorbing the mood of that person around you. So in order for us to grow with our friends, the very first thing we must do is for us to be intentional about the people we introduce to our life and the type of discussion that we are having with our friends. I started by saying that which kind of discussion are we having with our friends? Are you just sitting with your friends and gossiping others? Talking about who is dating who is having affairs with others? How Tinubu is bad? How your neighbors are suffering? How they cannot eat? How they cannot feed? Is it that kind of discussion you are having with your associates or your friends? Or you are the type that do discuss ideas, business affairs with your friends? So to grow with your friends, the type of discussion you welcome around you and your friends is very important, very key. The second thing we must put into consideration in order for us to grow with our friends is to partner up with our friends, to examine important ideas with our friends, and then put resources together to either work on an idea or to start a business or investment together. It is so unfortunate that in this part of the world, hardly before you will see friends putting up their resources together to start a business or to start investment. One of the clients that I went for inspection with like 2 weeks ago was sharing with me how the property, the rental property that he and his friend bought like 15 years ago. He said that when he lost his job, that was when he really understood the importance of partnering up with a friend or someone to buy something like property. He said that when he lost his job, there was no way he can fend for himself and his family. It was the property that the rental property that he bought with his friend that they put for rent that was sustaining him and his family for him to be able to even start up his own business. Now he is saying that being fired from his job is a blessing, but because without being fired from that job, he won't be able to start his business to be a CEO today. Now the man is buying several other properties because of that single partnership that he did with his friends. When you look at the life of successful men like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett, Larry Page, and so many others, one of the things that is common to them is the partnership that they have done with their friends while starting out in life. Like Warren Buffett, his business partner is his childhood friend, likewise to Bill Gates. But let me talk about Warren Buffett. One of his childhood friends that they started business with together, he died last year November, Charlie Munger. Without the synergy they built together, you and I may not even hear the name of Warren Buffett today or Charlie Munger. Likewise to Bill Gates. In starting the Microsoft, he had to partner with Paul Allen, his friend too. Likewise to Mark Zuckerberg. Likewise to Steve Jobs. In starting the Apple company, he started with his friends. But when you come to this part of the world, hardly before you see two friends partnering up and start something. People are doing it, but it is not as common as the Western world. The economy is getting to the point whereby your own resources alone cannot sustain you. to do something tangible, something that you can look into and say, yes, I created this, without partnering up with people. If you really want to go big in any venture at all in this present economy, it requires partnering up with your friends and your associates, because it is very close to impossible right now if you don't have enough resources to build or start something meaningful that the society can reckon with, all by yourself without partnering up with anybody. So one of the key points that we need to understand in growing up with our friends, instead of slowing ourselves down, is for us to put our resources together with our friends and partner up to create something meaningful that will impact our own life and to impact the people in the world. To start a global venture that will be globally recognized, we need partnership. And that starts from the kind of discussion that we are currently having with our friends. Because wherever the discussion that you are having with your friends right now is heading to, that is where your life and that of your friend is heading to. Because we are a product of what we constantly expose ourselves to. We are a product of the kind of discussion, the kind of information we allow ourselves to be exposed to. So if you are not exposing yourself and your friends to the kind of information that will be valuable to you, then you can right now predict your future. Because your future right now and that of your friends, your future right now and that of your friends that you are surrounding yourself with is not going to be different from the kind of discussion that you are having with your friends right now. If you are the type that do discuss great ideas with your friends and you are coming up with the strategy to give life to the ideas that you are coming up with, if you can develop strategies to create and to bet those ideas that you are having into something meaningful, then you can predict your future that you are going to be a success alongside with your friends in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. I don't know how long it's going to take you, but I can tell you that building something meaningful with your friends, growing up with your friends, starts with the kind of discussion that you are having currently with your friends right now. So to grow with our friends, to grow and build a great life with our friends, we must be intentional with our discussion with our friends. And secondly, we must put resources together to start something, to start investment, to start a business, or to create an invention, to start innovations with our friends. And in starting partnership with your friends, there are things that we really need to consider before that partnership that you are starting with your friends can stand or be developed to something meaningful. So the very first thing we need to start a meaningful partnership with our friends is for us to first of all know ourselves and what we want out of life. Because if you don't know yourself and what you want from life, you won't know the people you need as leverage to create that kind of life you want or to get that which you want. So the knowledge of self and the knowledge of that which we want must be clear to us before we will know the kind of people that we can introduce to our life. Take for example, whenever you go to the market to buy something and you don't figure out what you are to buy right from home, when you get to the market, you get confused. You will end up buying the things that you don't need. And also you will end up spending more time compared to the time that you are supposed to spend in that market if you have already known what you are going there to buy. So the very first thing we must put in place before we can start partnership with our friends is to first of all know ourselves inside out and what we want. So the second thing we must be aware of when partnering with our friends to ensure the success of that partnership is for us to be able to judge people's character, to judge the character of our friends before starting up a partnership deal with them. Because each and every one of us, we do wear masks. It is not the charming face that people are presenting to you that is their real self. People have a lot to hide from you. That is why we all wear masks. And it is very hard for you to know people to the core if you are not good at judging people's character and their behavior. Because for people to manipulate you, they are going to present themselves in a way that will be captivating to you, in a way that you will be receptive to. So people are going to manipulate you with their mask. They will wear masks to disguise who they are not, to present to you who they are not, in order to win you over to them. So we have to first of all be very good at judging people's character before we start up a partnership with them. Another thing we must consider before we partner up with our friends is for us to approach our friends with an intention of offering them something, not to take from them. Once you approach people with that mindset of what can I get from this person, what can I get from the person, instead of approaching people with what can I offer to the table, like what can I bring to the table to make the partnership works. If you don't approach people with the service minded instead of taking mindset, what can I grab? If you cannot approach people with service minded, people are going to distance themselves from you. They are not going to start anything with you because they know that you are just a taker. You are not a giver. You are not coming to their life to add value. You are coming to their life to take. So because of that, they are going to be running away from you. They are not going to have anything to do with you. Even if you bring up the idea of starting business with them or to start an investment with them, they are going to run because they know you as a taker. You are not someone that is going to offer them anything genuinely, because everybody is looking for people that they can partner up with, that will add value to their life. We all have self-interest. We all want to gain from others, but in starting partnership with people, we must be able to suppress that feeling. We must be able to suppress that desire. We must be able to control that desire. That control is much more better, not to suppress, because any emotion that you suppress is going to leak out in some ways. So we must be able to control our self-interest when we are trying to start partnership with our friends. That is very important. Then another thing that is very important when starting a partnership with our friends is for us to get clear on the terms and conditions of the partnership, and then get a professional third party to see the deal, because when starting up or partnering with people, partnership can go sour on our face. Partnership can go wrong, but with a well in placed third party to handle our partnership, like lawyer, um, any professional person that can handle our partnership, by getting the lawyer to seal our partnership, to seal our terms and conditions of the partnership, is very important. So that is number 4. The fourth thing to consider when we are partnering with our friends. The fifth thing is to put the resources together, after which the terms and conditions had been stated out. Is to put the resources together and then go all out with massive action in order to get the objective of partnership into reality. So that is how I believe that you and I can grow with our friends, instead of tearing ourselves down, instead of just gathering to gossip ourselves, instead of trying to sabotage ourselves, instead of trying to like pulling each other down. We have to team up together and grow ourselves. So that is what I have for us today on our journey of self-reliance. Because to become that self-reliant being that we all aspire to be on this journey, to become the best that God wants us to be on this journey, we must partner up. We must grow up with our friends. And that starts with the type of discussions, the type of ideas that we are discussing with our friends. That starts with starting up something, starting up investment, starting up business, starting up an invention with our friends. So I am confident that if you and I can start great discussions with our friends, and we can put up our resources together in terms of partnership, we can really elevate ourselves. We can really change our life, not just our life, but to also change the world. We all have what it takes to change the world. It's just for us to it's just for us to realize it. It's just for us to discover it, and then put the ideas that we have to work. So that is all I have for us today. And if you have gotten value for what I have shared so far, then you can leave it on the comment section, so that we can know, we can all learn or know how this video has been of help to you. And then if you have not subscribed to the channel too, and you wish to be part of our self-reliant movement, then you can subscribe, so that you will be part of us. And then you can follow us on WhatsApp group, through 0816 0816 That is our WhatsApp group for self-reliant movement. So God bless you. I'll see you on the next video. Until next time, peace.